अमृत द्रव संयुतम पीबत भागवतम रसम आलयम मुहुरहो रसिका भुवि भावुकाः. Hare Krishna.
Thank you so much, Mataji, for the wonderful recitation. Deval Mataji, should I start?
Yes, Mataji, Hare Krishna. You can start. We are live. Dandavad Pranam, Hare Krishna.
Dandavad Pranam. So, I welcome all the devotees who have joined today. And let's begin with our prayers. Om Ajnanatimirandasya Jnananjana Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manobishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Tadanti Swapadantikam. Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swamin Niti Namine. Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Pashyata Deshatarine. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadara Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Mukum karoti vachalum, pangum langayate girim, yat kriparantam mande Shri Gurum Dinadarinam. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. So, I welcome you all for this session again. So, I would like to thank all the hosts who gave me opportunity to speak on Shrimad Bhagavatam. So, I'm really, really grateful to all ICF hosts. So, let's begin. So, today we are going to start chapter 2. I know all of you would be aware of this. I just want to know, like, if anyone can share what we read in chapter 1 or what we understood in chapter 1. Like, you can raise your hands or you can unmute and you can speak whatever you understood, whatever has been discussed, if you can share. Yes, Archana Mataji.
Hare Krishna Mataji. In chapter 1, we saw the questions by the sages to Sutta Goswami in the Nainasaranya forest. So Saunakati Rishi is the main guru, and he has 88,000 sages along with him. So they are first in this in this chapter, they are introducing on how God is God's creation, how God is supreme controller and all that. They are introducing God like that. And they're also saying the importance of Shrimad Bhagavatam in the first 3 slokas. After that, they say what is the reason. They are actually saying how the listeners should be, how submissive they should be, how humble they should be in choosing the spiritual master who is coming from the proper disciplic succession. And after selecting such a spiritual master, how submissive they should be in listening to them. And after that, they are also speaking about...
Mataji, once again, if anyone, I'll just ask if anyone wants to share. Otherwise, like,
yes,
you can continue.
Okay, Mataji. Hare Krishna, Mataji.
Thank you, Mataji. Thank you so much for your wonderful understanding. Anyone else wants to share?
Yeah,
Yes,
Mataji. Just to continue, we saw in the sloka 10 about the Kali Yuga. Characteristic of Kali Yuga, how people are misguided, quarrelsome, and they're short-lived.
Right.
And yeah. So, and also the 6 questions, the first 3 questions we discussed in detail. And then, one second.
Yeah. Thank you, Mataji. Thank you, Sundar Mataji. Madhavi Mataji, you want to share?
The main point is Krishna's to Bhagwan Swayam from chapter 1.
Sorry, Mataji.
Krishna's to Bhagwan Swayam.
Yeah, Krishna's to Bhagwan. Yes.
That is the
main
point.
Madhavi. Thank you, Sindhu Mataji.
Yeah, thank you, Mataji.
Thank you so much.
everyone. Hare Krishna Mataji. Yeah, just
Yes.
to build up what other devotees have said before, like 6 questions were asked by the sages in the forest. So, beginning with what is the ultimate benefit or what is the good for all people. And since Kali Yuga is going to be a very difficult era for all the humans to go into the devotional zone, so how one can achieve it, how one can remember God in that time and how to worship him. And further, they have also asked about to describe about the different incarnations of Lord, and also why he had taken birth, like why he had appeared on earth. And also later on towards the end, they also asked, like after Krishna has disappeared, where has he taken, like where has he gone? So that was towards the ending.
Yes.
That's
Thank you, Mataji. Yes, thank you. That is the summary of first chapter. So, so yes, as you all said, that's what we learned in first chapter. So, to just little bit brief about it. So, we all know like the sages they have all joined together, and as we said, there were like 80,000 sages, and they performed the sacrifice for a time period of 1,000 years, right? And saying so, all these rishis, headed by Shaunaka Rishi, they are all like not very ordinary, or they are not like, okay, one of the saints like that. Like all those 80,000 saints are the topmost in their division of Vedic knowledge. So when they have accumulated in one place, and they are giving and they are spending some time, which tells us that it is very important, right? So, in this human form of life, we are indebted to 3 people, right? Can anyone say who are those 3 people whom we are 3 sets of people, or 3 people whom we are indebted to always?
Mataji, just guessing, Mataji. Guru, Sadhu, Shastras. Just guessing.
Yeah, that we should follow them, but we are indebted to
Father,
them.
mother, and guru.
Parents.
Parents.
Parents, yes. Parents, yes. Guru, in one way we can say, yes. So there are 3 types of rin, that in depth we have with everyone, right? Who are they? Is that we have 3 rin. They are Deva rin, then Pitra rin, and this is Rishi rin, right? So what is Deva rin? Why we are indebted to the Devatas, right? Because we are living in this earth, we are living in this planet, and we are getting water, we are getting rain, we are using all the resources of this world, right? And each resources is head by one of the Devatas, right? So because of them only we are able to live. If they are not there, we cannot live, right? So in that way, we are indebted to Devatas always. That's why even in Govardhan Leela, we could see that, right? Like Nanda Maharaj was saying, like we should do Indra Puja. So which Krishna rejects, like saying like Govardhan is there, Govardhan is giving you everything, then why you are doing Indra Puja, right? So in general, like that is to control the puffed up nature of Lord Indra. So and in general, we all get the resources from the Devatas. So we are indebted to them. Then, of course, our parents, right? Without them, we cannot live in this world. They are the ones who guide us. They are the ones who give us shelter. They give us the true love. Like parents' love is like unconditional. So we are always indebted to them. And then the rishis. Why we say rishis? Because these rishis, in one or the other way, parents, we took birth from them, they are doing something, right? And devatas, or we are living in this world, we are using their things, so we are indebted to them. So why we have to be indebted to rishis? Only rishis can teach us what is the absolute knowledge, or what is the absolute truth, who is the absolute God, like all these things which can transcend us from this world to the other world, only rishis can give us, right? And they didn't expect anything from us, so that's why we are very much indebted to them. At least in Govardhan Puja, we can see Indra getting angry that they did not worship him. But rishis never get angry. Like how many of us would have read this Bhagavad Gita, Bhagavatam, or any scripture from our childhood? right? None of, like, almost we know only few shlokas, few here and there we would have read some shlokas, something, but none of us have practiced it so much. But the rishis have thought of us all these things and written it, right? So we are indebted to them. Because of them only we can transcend from this world to the other world. So that's why these sages are all great personalities. So that's why we are always indebted. So we should always remember that. And here in this scenario, like there are 80,000 of the sages sitting under a tree and they are performing yajna. And so we can understand the seriousness of the issue, right? And until otherwise there is some seriousness, there will not be so much of people accumulating. Even if you see any political meeting or anything, when the election comes, there will be a big rally of people going on, right? To show some importance to that event. So here the sages are accumulated in one place because they are worried about something. They have a concern. So their concern is Kali Yuga is coming, and we all discussed about all those things. So, and if you see any yajna, or if you do any homa at our yajna at our home also, we see there will be only one person who will be doing the yajna, right? Like there will be one head of the priest, and there will be one head who will be performing that. Maybe our husband or our parents or our in-laws, they'll be performing, and we'll all be sitting next to them. But here in this case, like none of the rishis had any ego clash with them. They were all they were all into the process of helping, or finding way to help all of us in this Kali Yuga to progress. So not to suffer from this Kali. So their concentration was that. That's why they were not envious. And this yajna, they were performing it for 1,000 years. So if the person who is performing that yajna, if something happens to them, then the yajna has to be stopped. So the rishis don't want the yajna to be stopped. So they didn't have that one person as a head of the yajna. So they had this schedule. If one person is not there, then the other can continue this yajna. So there are ways of doing yajna. So they opted this for the welfare of us. So we understand how this Shaunakadi rishis are so compassionate, and how they all considered the welfare of all of us, right? So why I have told all these things is that we will see from this shloka, right? And this chapter is called Divine and Divinity Services. And this chapter has, I think so, yeah, this has some 34 shlokas. And in this chapter, we'll be seeing how Sutta Goswami is answering the questions of the Naimisharanya sages. And after he starts explaining, in between, he will be explaining about how bhakti is the only thing which we have to take it seriously. So, first 7 shlokas talks about Sutta Goswami and his reply to the sages, and the 6th and 7th shloka will be the answer to the first and second questions the sages have asked. And the shloka 8 to 15 talks about how we have to get only pure bhakti. And then this from 16 to 22, Sutta Goswami explains about what are the different stages of bhakti. From Shraddha to Prema, what are the stages? And from 23 to 29, he'll be explaining whom we should worship, what is the difference between demigod worship and the Supreme Lord's worship. And then from 30 to 34, he'll answer the third and fourth questions of the sages, right? So let us read this first shloka. So how that it goes, Mataji? Should the
yeah,
participants will read,
one
or I?
Yeah, one participant would read shloka, one will read synonyms and translation, and one will go with the purport.
Okay.
And if there are
Yes.
various paragraphs, then we'll divide the paragraphs according to the number of participants who want to read.
Sure. Thank you. Yes, Sindhu Mataji.
I'll start, Mataji. Sloka.
Yes.
Okay, pranams, Mataji.
Then
Haribol. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Vyasavacha iti samprashna sambrishto vipranam raumaharshanihi pratipujya vachastesham pravaktum upachakrame. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Mataji. Janaki Mataji.
Hare Krishna Mataji, Dandavat Pranam to everyone.
Hare Krishna.
Translation by His Divine Grace Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Ugras Rava Sutta Goswami, the son of Roma Harshana, being fully satisfied with the perfect question of the Brahmanas, thanked them and thus attempted to reply. Should I read the purport also, Mataji? One line.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
Purport. The sages of Naimisaranya asked Sutta Goswami 6 questions, and so he is answering them one by one. Hare Krishna.
Thank you,
so
Mataji. So here we see in this shloka that Sutta Goswami, the son of Roma Harshana. So we all know who is Roma Harshana, right? He is also one of the greatest rishis, and if you all know the story that once he would be giving the classes, and he would be giving one class at the time. Lord Balaram would be passing that place, and since on seeing the Lord also, the speaker would not get up from his seat and paid his respect. So Balaram got very upset with the behavior, because this is not the Vaishnava etiquette, right? When someone senior is coming, we have to obviously get up and pay our respects. So that had not happened. So to set a proper stage for everyone to follow, Balaram used to cut his head with his axe. So then the rishis all felt sad, and they all the rest of them asked forgiveness. And then so Balaram blessed Sutta Goswami that once he hear anything, he will be able to assimilate it and repeat it as it is. That is the greatness of Sutta Goswami, right? That's why when, although the Shaunakadi rishis are all well versed with everything, but when they saw Sutta Goswami, because Sutta Goswami, one, we now know what is his qualification. Like, he can remember whatever he heard, and the other thing is that he had directly heard it from Shukadev Goswami. So when such a learned person came, then they all decided that we should take help from him. So it is always important to take help from some seniors whenever we find any issue related to anything. All right. And here we see there are two important things, like which I want to highlight in this shloka, is that the thing is, Shuta Goswami is fully satisfied. So and the other one is the thanking him. So these are very, very important thing. Why? It is because, like, why, which can satisfy us, right? Like, many things will not give the permanent satisfaction. We get temporary satisfaction only with whatever we get. If we get a new house also, that will last only for few months, years or something. Everything is temporary in this material world. So satisfaction comes when it is permanent. Otherwise, it is happiness. Satisfaction will not be there. So here, Sutta Goswami is satisfied with, fully satisfied. He's completely satisfied. When that complete satisfaction comes is when the topic discussed, or when whatever we speak, it pleases the soul. So, and when we go back, what pleases our soul is anything that is related to Krishna. If we see all the 6 questions by the sages, what is the absolute good for everything, everyone, like, and what is the essence of all scriptures, and why did Krishna appear as the son of Devaki and Vasudev? Explain the incarnations of the Lord in accordance to his incarnations and in accordance to his leelas, right? These are the 4th and 5th question. And the 6th question is, where does the religious principles take shelter when Krishna left this material world, or when he went back to his spiritual world? Where do they take shelter of? So all these questions, if we see, everything is pertained to spiritual, the supreme personality of Godhead. So that satisfied him a lot. And why is he very thankful for? Right? So it's not that the hearers should be thankful or grateful. Even the speaker should be thankful and grateful to everyone. Why? Because there is an audience to hear, the speaker is able to glorify the Lord. The speaker is able to speak about the Lord. So the speaker should also be equally grateful to those hearers. That's why we are seeing here that Sutta Goswami is completely satisfied and he is like very, very grateful to all of them. And so he started to reply. And the other reason for the satisfaction is they are not asking for their welfare, right? These rishis could ask, like, when will I go back to Godhead? What are the things I should do to go back to Godhead? What are the things I should do like this? Which thing I have to follow? So they never asked for themselves, right? They were all together, all of them, because it is very difficult to have a collective opinion, right? Even in our families, we could see, like, if some decision has to be made, like if there are 6 people in the family, 2 will say one thing, 3 will say the other thing, and 1 person will be saying the different thing, right? But collectively, all 80,000 people are interested only in the welfare of the people in Kali Yuga. So this made him like fully satisfied, and this made him very, very thankful by his heart, because it is about the Lord and it is about people in general. So if we say rishis or the sages, they are all, the meaning of them itself is they look for the welfare of others. They don't have any self-interest. They will have only the welfare of everyone. So go to the next shloka. Yes, Archana Mataji.
Mataji, I'm muted.
Hare Krishna Mataji. Sorry. Hare Krishna. Sutta
Hare Krishna.
uvacha yam pravrajantam anupetam apeta Dvaipayanu viraha katara ajuhava putreti tanmaya taya taravu abhinedas tam sarva bhuta hridayam munim anantosmi. Hare Krishna Mataji.
Hare Krishna. Thank you. Shilpa Mataji.
Hare Krishna, Dandavat Pranam Mataji.
Dandavat Pranam.
Translation by Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Srila Sutta Goswami said, "Let me offer my respectful obeisances unto that great sage, Sukdev Goswami, who can enter the hearts of all. When he went away to take up the renounced order of life, sannyasa, leaving home without undergoing reformation by the sacred thread or the ceremonies observed by the higher castes, his father Vyasadeva, fearing separation from him, cried out, 'O my son, indeed, only the trees which were absorbed in the same feelings of separation echoed in response to the bereaved father.'" Hare Krishna. Mataji, purport, yeah,
Thank you.
somebody else can read it.
Yeah. Divya Mataji.
Purport by Srila Prabhupada ki jai. The institution of Varna and Ashrama prescribes many regulatory duties to be observed by its followers. Such duties enjoin that a candidate willing to study the Vedas must approach a bona fide spiritual master and request acceptance as his disciple. The sacred thread is the sign of those who are competent to study the Vedas from the Acharya or the bona fide spiritual master. Sri Sukadeva Goswami did not undergo such purificatory ceremonies because he was a liberated soul from his very birth. Generally, shall I continue, Mataji? Second paragraph.
Yeah, this paragraph you can continue.
Generally, a man is born as an ordinary being, and by the purificatory processes, he is born for the second time. When he sees a new light and seeks direction for spiritual progress, he approaches a spiritual master for instructions in the Vedas. The spiritual master accepts only the sincere inquirer as his disciple and gives him the sacred thread. In this way, a man becomes wise born or a Dvija. After qualifying as a Dvija, one may study the Vedas, and after becoming well versed in the Vedas, one becomes a Vipra. A Vipra or a qualified Brahmana must thus realizes the absolute and makes further progress in spiritual life until he reaches the Vaishnava stage. The Vaishnava stage is the postgraduate status of Brahmana. A progressive Brahmana must necessarily become a Vaishnava, for a Vaishnava is a self-realized, learned Brahmana. Hare Krishna Mataji.
Thank you.
Pranam.
Thank you, Mataji. Dandavat Pranam. Mohamita Mataji.
Hare Krishna Mataji, Dandavat Pranam.
Yes, Dandavat Pranam.
Srila Sukadeva Goswami was a Vaishnava from the beginning. Therefore, there was no need for him to undergo all the processes of the Varna Ashram institution. Ultimately, the aim of Varna Ashram Dharma is to turn a crude man into a pure devotee of the Lord or a Vaishnava. Anyone, therefore, who becomes a Vaishnava, accepted by the first class Vaishnava or Uttama Adhikari Vaishnava, is already considered a Brahmana, regardless of his birth or past deeds. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu accepted this principle and recognized Srila Haridasa Thakura as the Acharya of the holy name. Although Thakura Haridasa appeared in the Mohammedan family, in conclusion, Srila Sukadeva Goswami was born a Vaishnava and therefore Brahmanism was included in him. He did not have to undergo any ceremonies. Any low-born person, be he a Kirata, Huna, Andhra, Pulinda, Pulkasa, Abhira, Sumbha, Yavana, Kasa, or even lower, can be delivered to the highest transcendental position by the mercy of Vaishnavas. Srila Sukadeva Goswami was the spiritual master of Sri Suta Goswami, who therefore offers his respectful obeisances into Srila Sukadeva Goswami. Therefore, he begins his answers to the questions of the sages at Nimasharanya. Thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna. So now Sutta Goswami is speaking. So we see in this shloka, this is a perfect example of how a disciple should behave in a disciplic succession, right? Here we can see how Sutta Goswami is like glorifying, first paying his obeisances to his spiritual master Shukadev Goswami, from whom he heard this Bhagavatam, right? And he glorifies, first he offers his obeisances, and second, he is glorifying the transcendental qualities of Shukadev Goswami. How he is glorifying? He is saying that there are two qualities here he is mentioning very clearly. Like he is highlighting the two qualities of Shukadev Goswami. He has innumerable qualities, but he is taking these two qualities to tell this Shaunakadi Rishis that how great is his spiritual master. So why he is like so great, because in the stage of so many rishis, why Shukadev Goswami has been chosen to speak this Bhagavatam, right? So though the author of this Shrimad Bhagavatam, Vyasdev, was very much present, but Shukadev Goswami was given this opportunity to speak. So if we see all these things, so Sutta Goswami wants to highlight those things. He wants to highlight the greatness of his spiritual master. And it's not that showing off or bossing off. It is just to say and to make the subject matter to take for the others to take it seriously. Because if you know the greatness of a person, if you know the character of the person, we can hear it very sincerely, right? Even that's why, like, when we see any person, we just look onto his character, what kind of characters he possesses, right? So that's why he is telling the qualities of Shukadev Goswami. Here he is telling two qualities of Shukadev Goswami. One is like he is like extremely renunciant, and the second quality he is mentioning is he is like completely empowered by the Lord. So this is what we are going to see in this shloka. So here, for all of us, we are all like, we are trying to speak on Shrimad Bhagavatam. Though I am not qualified to speak, I'm just speaking on the words, whatever I heard from the senior disciples. So, and from Srila Prabhupada, like I'm just repeating. So first, the speaker should be grateful, and that should be the main quality of a speaker, right? And anyone who speaks should have the same attitude as that of Sutta Goswami. So what is the attitude of Sutta Goswami? He is very humble, right? With lot of humility, he offers obeisances to his spiritual master, and he glorifies his spiritual master. So a heart with a gratitude, a heart full of gratitude should be the attitude of the speaker, right? If we don't have gratitude for what we have received, then what happens is we will try to concoct according to our thoughts and actions, right? If we, for example, if Prabhupada is saying something, and if I try to put my own see, for examples can be given, right? Like according to time, place, circumstance, we can use the present examples. But we should not change the content. We should not change what Prabhupada had explained, right? So that has to be done. So how it will be possible? Only if we feel that we are grateful, if we understand that what we have received, the greatness of what we have received, then only we will be very grateful. So for that gratitude to get, what we should do to get that attitude, what all we should do is, first we should have this qualification that I don't have any qualification. The first qualification to become a speaker or to speak the thing is that first we should understand that we have no qualification. Then on what thing we are doing, it's only because of the Lord and by the mercy of the acharyas, the parampara system we are connected. It's only because of them we are able to speak something, right? And then importantly importantly in this parampara system is our own spiritual masters. So why I'm saying spiritual master is, there will be one Diksha Guru and there will be many Siksha Gurus, right? So these, with all of their support only we can speak. So when we have this gratitude that we are connected to such a glorious parampara, then only we will be able to give the message as it is. So the Goswami has a lot of he had the blessings of Baladev that he will not forget anything. But we people are like very forgetful in nature, and we saw the nature of Kali Yuga also, right? So still now I have to see my notes, what I have written, and then I have to speak, right? Like it's not very easy to speak. So if we are not grateful to what we have received, then we will just keep our notes away. We will not hear anything. We'll just sit and speak whatever comes in our mind. So that should not be the nature, right? And then so, and the speaker should always remember that we are a representative of our spiritual master. So the relationship between the spiritual master and the disciple has been very well explained in the first chapter and second chapter. In the first chapter, as disciples, what should be their qualities? Like we can see like how the Saunakadi rishis behaved, in what way they posed the question. So they chose a leader among themselves. So that leader, with great humility, he approached Sutta Goswami, and with lot of respect, he asked those 6 questions. It's not like I can ask anything anywhere with attitude like that, with wrong attitude, right? So with right attitude, they ask the question, and herein we are seeing those who is answering, he is also not thinking that, oh, these people are asking me, now I am going to answer. Like, who is there for me to check whether what I'm speaking is right or wrong? He did not have this attitude. The moment they asked the question, he remembered his spiritual master. So this is the parampara system. If we are following this, then we are safe. If we are not following this, then it is very, very difficult for us. So saying so, we are thinking like, okay, we have to worship the acharyas. So whether it is is it a ritual? Because daily we say the prayers, right? Before starting, we used to say all the prayers, right? Shri Chaitanya Manobishtam and all those prayers, we say the Mangalacharan prayers. It's all basically worshipping our acharyas so that we are steady and we progress in our bhakti, right? We need their help. So we are saying this prayers. So are these prayers basically a ritual? Like, okay, fine, morning I have to get up, I have to worship the acharyas. That's it? No, it's not ritual. It is spiritual, right? There are two things. In the spiritual itself, there is ritual, right? There is a spirit and there is ritual, right? So what is the spirit and what is ritual? We have to understand. Once we understand this, then we obviously develop this gratitude towards our spiritual masters and the Guru Parampara we are connected to. The spirit is the essence of knowledge, what we get from them, right? And the ritual is generally we can say the process by which we get this knowledge, right? Both are very important, right? If we see, if for example, if you are taking an apple, right? And so the outer, the cover, like the layer, the first layer of the apple, the red color skin is basically the ritual. And the pulp, the fruit inside is the spirit inside this, or the knowledge which was given by them. So why this red color skin is needed in the apple? Why that red color skin is needed in the apple?
Protect.
Yes, it protects the fruit inside, right?
Yes.
So the rituals helps us, thank you, Madhu. The rituals helps us to protect us from becoming very sentimentalist, right? So when we understand, when we follow this process properly, then we can be the ripened fruit inside. When the outer cover is not there, then the fruit inside will become waste, or it becomes like what do you call that word? Like uh, it becomes like unused, right? It becomes rotten. Okay, so this, but at the same time, we should not use the ritual too much. Like we should know like the right way to understand. It is only to take us to the knowledge. It is only to take us to Krishna. So only if you are focused on the ritual, then it will become dry. The skin becomes dry after a long time, right? Like if you keep the apple without using for a long time, what happens is it starts shrinking. So that is also not true. So the balance of both the things is very, very important, because sometimes what we think is that the rituals, the Vedic rituals are not needed to follow, right? So sometimes it is a protection. So we should use it only in terms of protection and not overdo things, right? And so, okay. So we spoke about the two qualities of Sutta Goswami here. So we saw the renounce. One is the renunciation, and other is like the extreme mercy he had got. So let's talk about the renunciation, right? If we see Shukadev Goswami's birth, Shukadev Goswami did not want to come out of his mother's womb, right? He came out as a 16-year-old boy, and that too Krishna has to interfere, like, please come out of the womb. So that is one thing. And the moment he took birth from his mother's womb, he did not even see here and there. He started walking towards a forest, right? Because he does not want himself to be he does not want to get into this material world. So he wants himself to be detached from everything. So immediately he just ran away from this. Ran away means he just walked away from the from his house. And so even though Vyasdev, like those days, it's not like so much of attachment we have for our kids. Like whatever they do, we just blindly support them, or we just glorify them just like that. It was not the condition in the Vedic times. Vedic times, like the father and son relationship is quite different. Like they don't glorify their son. They don't have that much of attachment. They teach what is necessary and all. So here, though, like that was the scene, here we can see Vyasdev himself, like he was feeling separation from his son, and he was crying like, "Oh, my son, please come." Right? So what it says is that Vyasdev so much materially attached? No, he's not attached to the thing that he is my son, but he is attached that he is a great devotee of the Lord. He is not afflicted with material things. So that's why he has that spiritual attachment with Shukadev Goswami. Though he cried, but Shukadev Goswami could not hear anything. So he just went to the forest. So that is the renunciation quality of Shukadev Goswami, right? A person who did not even turn back to the parents who gave birth to him, right? So if you see such a renunciant who came to Maharaj Parikshit's place, and he sat there for 7 days to explain Bhagavatam, right? So we can understand where he is taking a renunciation of not staying and where he stays, right? Because he is a via medium, the transparent medium from where Bhagavatam has to be given. So he stayed there with Parikshit Maharaj. The moment he completed the Bhagavatam, he didn't even look at Maharaj Parikshit. He just went away from that place. And here its parents, its attachment, if it will give him more attachment, so he did not stay there. So this is the renunciant quality of Shukadev Goswami. The second thing is the mercy, right? Or the empowerment by Lord, right? As I said before, the Lord empowered him. He promised him that you will not be afflicted with this material things. So I promise you that the material nature will not even touch you. So once the Lord assures him, then he gave. This is the greatest mercy, right? And we can see the empowerment in his birth also, right? He was born to Vyasdev, who is the literary incarnation of the Lord himself. And if we see the lineage of Vyasdev also, he is the son of Parashara Muni. Vyasdeva is the son of Parashara Muni. Again, Parashara Muni is the son of Shakti, who is also a great sage, and Shakti is the son of Vasishta Rishi. So if you see the lineage also, it's very empowering thing, right? So the empowerment of Lord came through the parampara also, and personally from the Lord also. So it is very, very important to these two qualities are very important for Sutta Goswami to explain the Shaunakadi rishis, so that they take the subject matter of whatever he's speaking seriously, right? So here Prabhupada again explains about what is Varna and Ashrama, and what are the duties of the householders, and who is a Brahmana, who is a Vaishnava, so who is a Karmi. So if we are not there, we are seeing in general, right? People don't believe in scriptures, people don't believe in anything. So they just go away, and so they will not have anything in life to do. So they don't know what happens to them after their life. And then the next is like, once someone starts understanding the scriptures, then they become like a Brahmana. Then once they are qualified to become a Brahmana, then only they can become a Vaishnava. So it is very important for all of us to understand the differences, because uh, whatever we are seeing, the caste system, it's not that what Lord had made. Lord had made is according to our character, not according to the birth we took, which we are following it in a wrong way nowadays. But this is the characteristic. So we should not identify anyone by their birth. We should understand the person, or we should consider the person by their character. This is what is Prabhupada explaining in this shloka. Yeah. Yeah. Krishnamurti Prabhupada.
Hare Krishna Mataji, Pranams Mataji.
Dandat Pranam.
Shall I read Shloka Mataji?
Yes, Prabhu.
यक्स्वानुभावमखिल श्रुतिसारमेकम् अध्यात्मदीपमतितितीर्षतां तमो अन्धम् संसारिणां करुणयाः पुराणगुह्यं तं व्याससूनुमुपयामि गुरुं मुनीनाम्.
Thank you,
Am I right,
Prabhuji.
Mataji?
Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Mataji.
Sudha Mataji. Sudha Mataji, you can read the translation.
Hare Krishna Mataji pranams. Translation by His Divine Grace Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Let me offer my respectful obeisances unto him, Shuka, the spiritual master of all sages, the son of Vyasadeva, who out of his great compassion for those gross materialists who struggle to cross over the darkest regions of material existence, spoke this most confidential supplement to the cream of Vedic knowledge after having personally assimilated it by experience. Thank you,
Thank you,
Mataji.
Mataji. Deval Mataji.
Yeah, Hare Krishna Mataji. Purport by His Divine Grace Srila Prabhupada ki jai. In this prayer, Srila Sutta Goswami practically summarizes the complete introduction of Shrimad Bhagavatam. Shrimad Bhagavatam is the natural supplementary commentary on the Vedanta Sutras. The Vedanta Sutras or the Brahma Sutras were compiled by Vyasadeva with a view to presenting just the cream of Vedic knowledge. Shrimad Bhagavatam is the natural commentary on this cream. Srila Shukadeva Goswami was a thoroughly realized master on the Vedanta Sutra, and consequently, he also personally realized the commentary, Srimad Bhagavatam. And just to show his boundless mercy upon bewildered materialistic men who want to cross complete over nescience. He recited for the first time this confidential knowledge. Hare Krishna Mataji. Does anyone
Hare
want to
Krishna.
continue?
Anyone else want to read? Yeah, Shilpa Mataji.
Hare Krishna Mataji.
Hare Krishna.
There is no point in arguing that a materialistic man can be happy. No materialistic creature, be he the great Brahman or an insignificant ant, can be happy. Everyone tries to make a permanent plan for happiness, but everyone is baffled by the laws of material nature. Therefore, the materialistic world is called the darkest region of God's creation. Yet, the unhappy materialists can get out of it simply by desiring to get out. Unfortunately, they are so foolish that they do not want to escape. Therefore, they are compared to the camel who relishes thorny twigs because he likes the taste of the twigs mixed with blood. He does not realize that it is his own blood and that his tongue is being cut by the thorns. Similarly, to the materialist, his own blood is as sweet as honey, and although he is always harassed by his own material creation, he does not wish to escape. Such materialists are called karmis. Out of hundreds of thousands of karmis, only a few may feel tired of material engagement and desire to get out of the labyrinth. Such intelligent persons are called Gyanis. The Vedanta Sutra is directed to such Gyanis, but Srila Vyasadeva, being the incarnation of the Supreme Lord, would foresee the misuse of Vedanta Sutra by unscrupulous man, and therefore he personally supplemented the Vedanta Sutra with the Bhagavad Purana. It is clearly said that this Bhagavatam is the original commentary on the Brahma Sutras. Srila Vyasadeva also instructed the Bhagavatam to his own son Srila Sukadeva Goswami, who was already at the liberated stage of transcendence. Srila Sukadeva realized it personally and then explained it. By the mercy of Srila Sukadeva, the Bhagavad Vedanta Sutra is available for all those sincere souls who want to get out of material existence. Should I read, Mataji, or somebody else can read?
Archana Mataji had raised her hand, it seems.
Hare Krishna, Pranam Mataji. Jai Srila
Hare Krishna.
Prabhupada. Srimad Bhagavatam is one unrivaled commentary on the Vedanta Sutra. Sripada Shankaracharya intentionally did not touch it because he knew that the natural commentary would be difficult for him to surpass. He wrote his Sharirika Bhashya and his so-called followers deprecated the Bhagavatam as some new presentation. One should not be misled by such propaganda directed against the Bhagavatam by the Mayavada school. From this introductory shloka, the beginning student should know that Srimad Bhagavatam is the only transcendental literature meant for those who are Paramahamsas and completely freed from the material disease called malice. The Mayavadis are envious of the personality of Godhead, despite Sripada Shankaracharya's admission that Narayana, the personality of Godhead, is above material creation. The envious Mayavadi cannot have access to the Bhagavatam, but those who are really anxious to get out of this material existence may take shelter of this Bhagavatam because it is uttered by the liberated Srila Shukadeva Goswami. It is transcendental torchlight by which one can see perfectly the transcendental absolute truth realized as Brahman, Paramatma, and Bhagavan. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you, Mataji. So here in this shloka, two more qualities of Shukadeva Goswami is mentioned by Sutta Goswami. So the one is he is self-realized, right? Self-assimilated or experienced, Swanubhavam, right? And the other quality he is mentioned is compassionate, Karunyaha. So these two qualities he is highlighting here. Like why he's saying this self-realized. So now in the previous shloka, we saw that two important qualities. One is he is renunciant and he is empowered by Lord. And now he's saying he is self-realized also. And then he's saying that the fourth quality is he's very compassionate. Right? So self-realization, why it is important? Because though you get Lord's mercy, you are coming from a great parampara. Until otherwise you are self-realized, it is not possible to speak on the subject matter of Bhagavatam. And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu also emphasizes this, that one who is self-realized can only be a spiritual master. So he cannot be a spiritual master. So that's why he is emphasizing this. He is my spiritual master and he is the spiritual master of everyone, which means that he is self-realized. Otherwise, people will not accept, right? Like he is self-realized. And so here, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu told Swarup Damodar Goswami that if one has to hear Bhagavatam, he has to hear it from a Bhagavata. He should not hear it from other professional reciters. Because if we hear Bhagavatam from the Bhagavata who has come from the disciplic succession, who is in connection with the parampara, what happens is the whatever, even though the person who is speaking will not have that much of self-realization, the person will be talking what the previous acharyas had spoken. What is their what is that they want to say? The person who is in that parampara will repeat the same. So that is why, even though I am not qualified to speak here, I'm just speaking with the mercy of Prabhupada, right? Like, so this is very, very important. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu always emphasizes, we should also know this, like we should not hear it from the professional reciters, because there will not be any rasa, there will not be any devotional service will be into that. They will be just reciting Bhagavatam like any other thing, right? So that's why we should not hear that. And so how we can understand that Shukadeva Goswami is a realized, self-realized soul, and he has assimilated this knowledge. From whom he has assimilated this knowledge? He has assimilated it from his father. Who is his father? Vyasadeva. And who is Vyasadeva? He is the one who has written this book. So from his father, he has understood this, and not only understood, he had realized this knowledge, right? This is very, very important. And when we say like this spiritual education, it's all Shruti Saram, right? Only by hearing. So the spiritual master will speak, the disciples will hear. We don't have this notebook writing culture in our Vedic times, right? But then why did Vyasadeva write all these things? Because now in Kali Yuga, we don't have that much of memory. And we assume, or we will be sitting in the class, we'll be talking in the class, but our mind will be somewhere else, right? So this is the what we can say, it's a byproduct of this Kali Yuga. So understanding this, this Vyasadeva had written this, and he had taught this to Shukadev Goswami. So this is the process. This is how we get this knowledge. And here Prabhupada explains, Prabhupada in his lecture in this shloka, he explains that so people should not be puffed up with the knowledge they get, right? And Lord Brahma tells this to in one of his prayers to Krishna in second canto that, oh Lord, if someone has this puffed up knowledge, then though he may think that he is a very knowledgeable person, he is not at all a knowledgeable person. He is considered to be a fool, and he will not have any self-realization. Though the bookish knowledge will be there, but it will not have any value. So it is to be, then how we should understand this, how we can get this knowledge. It is only by the devotees of the Lord. And Krishna in Bhagavad Gita also, he says this, he confirms this, right? Bhaktya mam abhijanati, right? I can be known only by my devotees. Why? Because my devotees stay in my heart, and from my heart, this knowledge gets into them, and they speak this transcendental knowledge. So by this way only, a person becomes self-realized, and we should hear it from that self-realized person. And as I spoke before about the compassion of Shukadev Goswami, right? When Maharaj Parikshit is that he is going to die in 7 days, they were discussing what to do, how to do, and who is going to speak, what process we should follow when all these things are happening. Shukadev Goswami just came to that place to show his compassion to Parikshit Maharaj in person and to all of us, right? So to show this compassion, he came and he spoke this knowledge. So this is very, very important. So here the very important thing is like the thing is, Prabhupada in this lecture, he says that how we can understand this knowledge, right? So the person can deliver the knowledge, but how can we take this knowledge? We can take this knowledge only through only when our heart is clean and pure. How our heart can be pure and clean? Only by chanting the holy names, by associating with the devotees, and reading all the scriptures, right? But what happens is, most of us, think that happiness is different, right? But this is the real happiness. This is the real satisfaction. This is the way we can understand the knowledge. But what we think is whatever we read, whatever we know, it is knowledge, right? And that knowledge gives us the materialistic things only. And we think that we are happy in this world and there is no need of the scriptures and all those things. And Prabhupada gives a beautiful example of camel here, right? Camel eat the thorn and it is chewing, and because the thorn is sticking his tongue and blood is coming out, and he thinks that this is the juice of the plant which he is eating, right? He is eating his own blood, but he does not know, and he is enjoying it. And this material world's happiness is like that. So anyone who is intelligent will not live in this material world. Live in this material world means we should not we should not be carried over by this material world, right? We should do our duties, whatever is needed, as a mother, as a father, as a brother, as a son, as a husband, as a wife, whatever duties, whatever role we are performing, we should do it. And at the same time, our aim should be in the goal of life. So our goal of life is to reach the Goloka Vrindavan and serve the Lord over there. So for that, we should gain this knowledge also. So to gain this knowledge, we should hear it from a self-realized soul. So this is what in the shloka it is explained. I think I am running out of time. So, am I audible?
Yes, Mataji.
Yes, Mataji, you're audible.
Yeah. Somehow my screen I could not see. Can you see my screen?
Yeah, it's gone blank.
Yeah,
No,
yeah.
no, it's blank.
White, ma'am.
It's
Nothing.
blank, right? Yeah.
For me, it's white.
There's a problem with the internet, I think.
You want me to share, Mataji?
Yeah, please.
Yes, Mataji. Can you see my screen? Hare Krishna.
Yeah, I can see.
Should we go to the next, Mataji?
Yeah, fourth shloka. Yeah. Hare Krishna. Thank you. So, who wants to recite it, or should I recite it considering the time?
Yes, Mataji.
Yes,
Yes, sure.
Mataji.
Yeah. Narayanam namaskritya naram chaiva narottamam devim saraswatim vyasam tato jayamudiraye. So, yeah. Before reciting this Shrimad Bhagavatam, which is the very means of conquest, one should offer respectful obeisances unto the personality of Godhead, Narayana, and to Naranarayana Rishi, the supermost human being, and to Mother Saraswati, the goddess of learning, and unto Srila Vyasadeva, the author. So, Mataji will leave the purport, requesting all the devotees to read the purport by themselves. So, I'm really sorry for running late. So here, Shukadev Sutta Goswami is now offering prayers. First, he offered prayers to Shukadev Goswami, his immediate spiritual master. Now, he is offering respects to the Supreme Personality of Godhead and Naranarayana Rishi, Mother Saraswati, and Srila Vyasadeva, right? So, this prayer is very, very important. And if you see the word conquest here, so what are we going to conquer in this? We are reading Bhagavatam, and what are we going to conquer, right? So here we can see in this material world, it's full of competition, right? We have competition everywhere. There is always a constant comparison, either in this outside world with others and inside ourselves also. We fight within ourselves, right? Like because of the modes of nature, we have a different competition running inside us also. So, so this kind of conquest in this material world, it will not take us anywhere, right? So then, what this material thing we have to conquer and take it out, so that we will be able to go back home, back to Godhead. So here, so Prabhupada says that a person is intelligent if he can find what is the problem, and he should solve the temporary problems, but his goal should be to solve the real problem of the soul. What is the real problem of the soul? To be binded in this world. So he should aim in going back, right? And what is happening is there is any problem what is happening in this world is not new. We may think that, oh, this is a new problem we are facing now only. No, it's not like that. So the problems whichever we are facing, they're all only old, but we are new to handle this problem. That's why we feel that problem. So, and so the conquering part, we have to take it into three ways. So we have to understand what is to be conquered, what is the process to be conquered, and how does Bhagavatam help us in conquering this. These three things are very, very important. So what is
Mataji,
to be
can you
conquered
repeat
now?
all those three things, Mataji,
Yes.
again?
Yes. What is to be conquered? What is the process to conquer it? And how does Bhagavatam helps us in conquering this? These are the three things we have to understand. This is the main thing of the shloka. So what is to be conquered? We understood that, right? All the material problems, solving this material problem or living in this material world, is that what we have to conquer, right? And now how Bhagavatam helps us in this process, right? If we see Bhagavatam, Bhagavatam starts with a pessimistic approach, right? Like it starts with problems, right? Like the Saunakadi rishis are worrying. They are in a problem of how to fix the people in Kali Yuga, right? And if we take the main speaker, Shukadev Goswami and Parikshit Maharaj is going to die in 7 days. So there is also a pessimistic approach only, right? Something is going to happen, right? So there is also a problem. So here it is a social problem with the rishis, and Maharaj is having a personal problem or the physical level of problem that he is going to leave this world. So if we see the Bhagavatam beautifully transcends both these things. It gives them a clear idea how to get over this, right? When the moment when Parikshit Maharaj started hearing this Bhagavatam, and on the 7th day of Bhagavatam, when he completed hearing this Bhagavatam, it is said that this Daksha bird, he did not kill Parikshit Maharaj. Before even the Daksha could come, Parikshit Maharaj, the soul, that left, and it just only picked the physical body of Parikshit Maharaj. So we can see like it's not only with Parikshit Maharaj or with the Saunakadi Rishi's welfare, all these things happen. If we see throughout the Bhagavatam, like how Hajamila was there, how Gajendra had been transcended. So there are n number of examples. Prahlad Maharaj, Dhruv Maharaj, in each and every canto, the Prachetas, we can say everyone, how they were able to transcend. So Bhagavatam is a tool actually. It will help us. It's a guide which helps us in solving all our physical, emotional, social, all the problems. It is the solver. So if we read Bhagavatam, we can conquer that. And so the next thing is like how the process to conquer. What is the process to conquer? That is what is Sutta Goswami is teaching us here. He started with the prayers. He started with prayers of his spiritual master. Now again he is starting with the worshipping of the Supreme Lord, then with Naranarayana Rishi, with Saraswati and Vyasdev. So by prayers helps us, right? The prayers works wonder. Either we pray for ourselves, we pray for others, it works wonders. And all the prayers are answered at the right time. So the prayers are the biggest tool to conquer all our problems. Right? So one beautiful thing I heard in one lecture, why suddenly like Naranarayana Rishi is coming here. Narayana, we understand, he is the supreme personality of Godhead. But why this Naranarayana Rishi? Why Saraswati is coming here? So here in the lecture that Prabhuji was saying that the sages, if you see the setting of the Bhagavatam scene, right, the Shaunakadi Rishis are performing austerity there. They are performing the yajna there. And here we see Maharaj Parikshit and Shukadev Goswami. They are also in Maharaj Parikshit was also not eating, drinking anything, right? He is also performing some austerity. And that's why he is worshipping this Naranarayana Rishi, because Naranarayana Rishi is an incarnation of austerity, right? If you see Naranarayana Rishi in Badrinath, they will be doing penance, right? So that's why this Bhagavatam is a book of austerity. It teaches us austerity of leaving this material world, right? And that's why he is worshipping Naranarayana Rishi. And why this Mother Saraswati? So generally we say, right, demigods worship and all is banned, right? So demigod worship as a substitute to Supreme Lord's worship is condemned, right? We substitute like how we do only Indra Puja. We will not do other things, right? That is to be banned. But demigod worship as an aid to develop our love towards Supreme Lord is acceptable. Like, for example, the gopis prayed Katyayani to attain Krishna, right? Rukmini Devi also worshipped her Kuladevata to attain Krishna. So these demigods are the great Vaishnavas and Vaishnavis. So once we take shelter of them for attaining Krishna, it is good. But for our material needs, it is bad, right? And of course, we know Srila Vyasdev, who is the author of this book. So obviously, we have to worship him, right? Because he is also a transcendental person. So the austerity part is very, very important, right? So in Vidura Niti also, Vidura tells Dhritarashtra that if anyone who wants to learn, they should not have pleasure. They should not have pleasure. And if one has so much of pleasure, they cannot learn anything. So austerity is very, very needed in gaining this knowledge. So this is very, very important. Right? Can we go to the next shloka, ma'am? Yeah. Munaya sadhu prashtoham bhavaptirlokamangalam yatkrata Krishna samprashno enatma suprasidati. Yeah, translation. Yeah, thank you. O sages, I have been just questioned by you. Your questions are worthy because they relate to Lord Krishna and so of relevance to world's welfare. Only questions of this sort are capable of completely satisfying the self. So in this shloka, we are seeing the main thing is satisfaction, right? And satisfaction of, so we can highlight this portion in this because we have seen all these things before, right? The worthy thing, because it all relates to Krishna. So we can take this portion of satisfaction. So what is satisfaction, right? Anything that satisfies to body and mind or our senses and mind, it will not be complete satisfaction. Why? Because those are also material and it will not give complete satisfaction because a dress which I see now, it will be very much appealing to me, but after some months or some days, the dress, I won't like it also, right? So something which we see here or anything regarding material, it will not be the complete satisfaction. So we should find what is the satisfaction of the self, right? So so the satisfaction of the soul is hearing about Krishna, right? Because Krishna is in our heart as Paramatma, and only the soul gets happiness when we talk, when we hear about Krishna. That is the only satisfaction the soul has. Other than that, whatever the name, fame, prestige, whatever we occur in this material world, it is of no use. So and regarding this satisfaction, we can take examples of Parikshit Maharaj, right? In 7 days before, Parikshit Maharaj was like, what to do, how to do. But once he started hearing this Bhagavatam, he was completely satisfied, right? And the way he left his body is very amazing. Likewise, Kapila Dev, who gave the Sankhya philosophy to his mother Devahuti, right? He was explaining in detail about all the material elements, this, that, how the child in the womb is formed and what happens in those days and how the child is grown up, what are the duties. He explains about everything, every single thing. And he said like the final two conclusion he gives, two instructions he gives his mother. Mother, you follow these two instructions, your life will be successful. What is the two instructions? Remember Krishna always and never forget Krishna. So these are the two. So after speaking so much about everything, the final conclusion what Kapila Dev is giving is remember Krishna always. So this is what Bhagavatam emphasizes throughout, right? Right from shloka 1 till the 12th canto, last shloka, Bhagavatam emphasizes this beautiful thing of remembering Krishna at any point of our time, any point of our life. So so here, so we have seen that this Kali Yuga is not perfect, right? Kali Yuga is a world full of problems. We have seen like it has a lot of issues. Then how can we perfect? How can we get satisfaction in this Kali Yuga? So here Krishna gives, for that also Krishna only gives the help, that he says that chant the holy names of the Lord, associate with my devotees, and you live a life of compassion. So here, this is what he's saying, right? World's welfare. When you have a heart of compassion, when you start living for others, when you start thinking about others, then automatically our all bad qualities will go off, like our selfishness, our pride, our ego. It will all vanish when we start thinking about others, when we start working for the welfare of others. So how that welfare comes is when we satisfy our inner self. How to satisfy our inner self is by chanting and associating with the devotees and reading the scriptures. When we do all these things together, then we will be we will be a good person who will be worthy for the society. So with this, I'll end my session today. I'm sorry for being really late once again. Is there any questions, or if you want to end the session also, it's okay.
Thank you, Mataji, for the wonderful session. If anybody has question, can raise their hands. And I think there are a couple of questions in the chat, Mataji.
Okay, let's just see this.
I think someone has asked about Durvasha Muni, and Prabhuji has given the link.
Okay.
Impersonalist in the beginning.
And
When did he become
impersonalist.
Vaishnava? Yes. So Shukadev Goswami was impersonalist in the beginning. He was a monist. But then Vyasadeva sent his disciples, and there is a 10th canto shloka of Bhagavatam, where it describes the beauty of the Lord. So once this had been recited, then Shukadev Goswami had become a personalist after that. And then he came and learned this Bhagavatam from Vyasadeva. That's how he learned this Bhagavatam.
Mataji, Meenakshi Mataji question about how to interpret Durvasha Muni anger in Ambarish Maharaj story.
So what does that mean? How to interpret in the
Yeah.
sense? I
How
didn't
to
get it.
interpret
He's there.
Durvasha
So
Muni anger.
Mataji, yeah. So Mataji, like every rishi, I told you, right? Every rishi has a different power, right? They have their different areas of specialization. Here we can see Durvasa Muni, when he gets anger, his tapobala will increase actually. Right? And so there are examples in Bhagavatam also, like where even if a devotee takes, or if a person takes the wrong side or does a wrong action, he will also be punished, right? And this is an example of that. Like Lord wants to show, even if you are in the highest renowned stage of life also, but still you are attached to. Here Durvasa Muni was not talking about world welfare, like, oh, you are breaking Ekadashi fast, it is not good. Here he was thinking like, you didn't wait for me, right? So that was a personal thing, right? So that's why the Lord did not help him. And that is to show the greatness of Ambarish. Like when such great devotees or some great things happen like this, so we have to understand it. It is for the pastime purpose, to show us that we should not be like that, right? And not, we should not demean that person, like be it Indra or be it Brahma or be it any other person for that matter. We should not demean them. Lord Shiva, when we see in 8th canto or somewhere, like so we should not think that these people are also like us. So they are there to help Lord to show that pastime, because with that pastime only Lord showed two things, right? Ambarish Maharaj, greatness of Ambarish Maharaj, and second thing is that even though they take the shelter of the Lord, the person who offended the devotees, even though he takes shelter of the Lord will not help him, right? And the Lord will help only when he goes and begs forgiveness to that devotee, right? This is what he wants to teach through this pastime. So hope this is clear, Meenakshi Mataji. I don't know whether she is there also or not.
Yes, someone is asking something.
Yeah, I cannot hear it.
Your volume is very.
Actually, Meenakshi Mataji was replying to you, Mataji, and now Deval Mataji is raising her hands.
Oh, okay.
Hare Krishna.
I just have a question, Mataji. I'm sorry for the question. I mean, just forgive me for my foolishness. So we saw in one of the purports in text 2 that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was born Vaishnava. Sukdev Goswami was a born Vaishnava. But even Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was also born Vaishnava, right? But he had to take sannyas. So how do we understand that, Mataji? Because he also had to take sannyas,
Right.
the purification ceremony, and then
Right.
people could follow him
Right.
that way.
Yes, that's a wonderful question, Madhuri. So, the time phase we have to see, the time period, right? Shukadev Goswami, it's a different age also. If you say it's Dwapar Yuga, where people will not be, there are, in Kali Yuga, we have a lot of problems, right? Even if we do everything properly, also people will find problem with what we are doing, right? So that's why Chaitanya Mahaprabhu lived a life of that, right? He took the proper initiation process. He went through all those things. He took sannyasa in that way. But Shukadev Goswami, as he was like, he is a self-realized soul, and here Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is Lord himself, right? And he is a devotee. This is the main difference, right? And the Lord performs any pastime only for others to follow it. And devotees, they have their different levels. They have their different relationship with the Lord. So some may say, I don't want even to come here to this material world. I want to be in the spiritual world only. There will be some devotees who will be like, they will come take part in whatever way the Lord says. They will enact accordingly. For example, we can take Bhishma Dev. He is a great devotee of the Lord, but he took the side of the adharma, right? So he want to help Lord with this varios, like how to fight with the devotee, because anything Lord does, he does with his devotees only, right? So that's why here Chaitanya Mahaprabhu did everything because he is the Lord. And we see Krishna also, right? Though he married 16,108 wives, so he maintained all the palaces, and he lived a proper householder life, right? As a duty of a husband, father, grandfather, he did everything. And if even he performed all this Sandhya Vandana, or he performed whatever duties as a king, he performed everything. So why he had to do all these things? Because the Lord does not have to do anything on this, because he's what Sandhya Vandana is going to benefit him, or what puja like is going to benefit him. Nothing is going to benefit him, but he wants to set an example, right, for others to follow. That's why Chaitanya Mahaprabhu followed. And this Kali Yuga, like even after doing so much, also people criticize, right? There are like nowadays, like every saint is like penalized for being a saint. So that's why Chaitanya Mahaprabhu followed all the rituals, Mataji.
Thank you, Mataji. Thank you so much. Hare Krishna.
Thank you so much. So should we end it here, Mataji?
Yes, Mataji.